I'm honestly pretty shocked at how frequently, when I talk about making sure that songs are in a singable key, how often people really don't understand this and have never thought about it before. But to me, this is a really big issue because if I'm up in front leading people in worship, I want to make sure that they are fully engaging, and I want to give them every possible opportunity to do that. I don't want to hinder that from happening. And so if I can put whatever songs I'm using into a key that's going to be more approachable for them, we're going to be a lot better off. Many years ago, I was involved in some of the early recordings of the Integrity Hosanna music series way back. Some of those very early recordings, they were done in a studio. They sound live, but they were really done in a studio. All of the instruments were done ahead of time. And then 30 or so hand-picked singers were invited into the studio. And I had half a headphone, the guy next to me had the other half a headphone. We're listening to the instruments, and we'd do a medley of maybe 3 songs or so, and then we'd do it 3 times. But so now after doing it 3 times, instead of it sounding like 30 people, now it sounds like close to 100 people, and little electronic tweaking, and now it sounds like 500 people. So that's the concept of what we were doing. But those songs were intentionally pitched high because if you have to really dig deep to hit those notes, it sounds better for a recording. And so what we would do is we would take a break after we would do a couple of those 2 or 3 song medleys a few times. Because even these hand-picked singers who, the people that were doing this knew they could trust with being able to do the song well, even those people needed a break because it was tough going because it was pitched so high. And it's great for a one-time recording. It sounds really good, but it's not great for your congregation week after week. If people come in next week and they're talking like this because of what you did last week, you just might want to think about how high you're doing the songs. Now, please understand, I'm talking about in a worship service. In a concert, everything is different. But in a worship service, I want to make sure that the people out here can sing the songs. And so I want to help them as much as I can. Now, clearly everybody does not have the exact same range, but there is a general range that you can look at. Most people who are vocalists, who know what they're talking about, would say B flat below C up to the D above is about as far as you want to go. And even those 2 end notes are pushing. If you land there too much, you're probably pushing a little bit. So staying in that range is going to be a lot better off for you because the people will be able to get it. In a concert setting, if Chris Tomlin wants to do his songs 2.5 steps above what the average person can do, great, go for it. But if I'm going to do that same song in my Sunday morning worship service, guess what? I'm going to lower it considerably because I want the people to be able to come along with us in this. What I don't want to do, and this is going to strike at the heart of some of you who are watching this, is that I don't want to simply showcase the worship leader's voice. If you think what your job is to be up there showing people how good you are and wowing them by your talent, you probably shouldn't really be watching these videos because you're not getting much out of them. Honestly, God is more interested in our heart. But what I want to do as the worship leader, I'm leading these people. I'm not up there saying, hey, look at me. No, I'm helping these people out here to connect with God. And the way that I'm going to do that is to put the song in a key that they're comfortable with. Now, you might be thinking, all right, but my range is like here and their range is here. What do I do? Yeah, actually, I've experienced that because years ago, when I joined the worship team at our church, and please understand something here. I've been at the same church now for 40 years. I was on the worship ministry for a really long time, for decades, all right? So I have some experience in what I'm talking about. The guy that was the worship leader when I first joined the church and joined the worship team, he had this tenor voice. He was an amazing tenor. But he knew that he had to stay on the melody and keep the melody in the range that the people could sing. Well, he quickly recognized that I only ever sang melody. I had this just kind of normal range, and I had a really strong voice. Well, I was in some ways kind of an answer to his prayer. It was pretty short time, and he had me up standing next to him up in the front. He was still the worship leader. He's still the guy that's calling the shots of what we're doing and what songs and how many times we're doing the song and all of that kind of stuff. But my voice is the one that's the loudest in the mix, because then he can do whatever he wants to vocally and not have to worry about it. But he knows that there's somebody who is carrying the melody, that people are able to hear the melody and they're going to be able to follow. It was a win-win situation for everybody in that case. And so I want to challenge you. Think about that. Don't just show off your voice. Don't just show people how good you are. Help the people out here to be able to join in fully, because we're putting the songs in a key that they're able to do. And let me just throw one more piece in here, because I want to muddy the waters a little bit more. You know, it's really pretty popular today in a lot of songs to do an octave jump. And that energy, that lift that happens there, it is a really cool thing. I like it a lot. The problem is that the average person in the church, average person in your congregation can't do that. They don't have that range. And so what it does is it ends up frustrating them because they can't do it. So I want to encourage you, if you're looking at, and so many songs like that so many songs are like that today. I want to encourage you, if you're looking at doing a song that has that, just put it into a singable key and don't do the octave jump. Just do it normal. People are going to be really appreciative. It does. All right, I'll admit it does lose a little bit of the energy. I totally get that. But if the people will actually sing, that's what I'm looking for. So I want to challenge you. Think about the key that you're doing. Make sure that the range is in a space that the average person can actually sing along, because if you don't do that, then they're going to be more reluctant. They're going to be less willing to sing along with you, and that's not what I want. As a worship leader, I want to engage these people. I don't want to show off my voice. I don't want to have them think, wow, he's really good. No, I want them to encounter God and engage with God.
Brought to you by myworshipleadingcoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.